Back at the Institute, we were an inseparable gang of four: my future wife, Chloe, Thomas, Sophia, and yours truly. In the beginning, it was all innocent fun. We'd hit the movies, dance our nights away, and give each other a hand with term papers when deadlines loomed. But as time went on, things shifted. Chloe and I started dating, and as it turned out, so did Thomas and Sophia. The funny thing is, we both kept our relationship a secret, feigning composure, thinking we were being smart. It turns out they did exactly the same thing. In the end, the truth came out in the most unexpected way, when we all applied. And guess what? Both couples chose the same wedding date, February 14th, Valentine's Day. When we realized the coincidence, we thought, why not double the fun? That's why we booked a table at the same restaurant and had a celebration together. Honestly, it was amazing. Back then, we saw ourselves as future hotshot surgeons, dreaming of bright lights and accolades. Life, however, had other plans. I stuck with the surgical path, while Chloe embraced motherhood, raising our daughter and managing the home. As for Thomas and Sophia, they ventured into the pharmaceutical business, and well, they're killing it. Now, I'm not here to boast or complain, but I will say this: surgeons in our city are well regarded, and we're compensated pretty nicely. The downside: the job's unpredictable. You can get called in at any hour, be it late nights, weekends, or even holidays. Chloe grumbles about it now and then, but she knows how much I love her. I spare no expense when it comes to her happiness. We don't travel as often as we would like, but we have managed to identify several destinations from the list: France, Switzerland, and even Brazil. However, Thomas and Sophia have much more free time, so they often invite Chloe to travel with them to entertain her. Sophia is not very keen on gardening, but they spent a lot of weekends helping Chloe at the cottage. To be honest, I didn't see anything wrong with that. And now we are celebrating an important milestone: 20 years of living together, the anniversary of our wedding. The plan was simple: to celebrate, just like in the good old days, at the same restaurant where we got married. In my younger days, everything would have gone off without a hitch, but of course, life was different. On that momentous day, I received an urgent call. A 7-year-old boy had been in a terrible accident, and I urgently needed to be taken to the hospital. Chloe, predictably, launched into her familiar refrain: how everyone else gets to celebrate and relax, while I seem to be married to my work instead of her. But what could I do? The surgery was complex and stretched on for 5 exhausting hours. By the end, I was drained, but seeing the relief and gratitude in the boy's parents' eyes made it worth it. When I finally made it home, I jumped into the shower, threw on a suit, and rushed to the restaurant. I'd pictured a lively scene: bright lights, music, laughter. Instead, the place was dim. The lights flickered oddly, and everything felt out of sync. As I looked for the coat check to hang up my sheepskin and hat, I rehearsed what to say to Chloe. I'd already missed an hour and a half of the celebration. Maybe I'd tell her she's still the most wonderful woman in my life, despite my work pulling me away so often. But all those words evaporated the moment I stepped into the wardrobe. There, on a pile of other people's fur coats, was my wife, my Chloe, entwined with Thomas, my best friend. They didn't even notice me at first. To say my world shattered would be putting it lightly. How could something so cruel, so calculated, happen on the very day of our anniversary? And with Thomas of all people. The betrayal was unfathomable. I turned and walked out, my legs feeling like lead. At the entrance, Chloe caught up with me, her eyes red and brimming with tears. I'm sorry," she began, her voice trembling. "I don't know how it happened. The devil must have gotten into me. It's the first and last time, I swear. I love you. Only you. It was just a stupid, fake moment." But her eyes told a different story, one that no words could mask. I cut her off, unwilling to hear more, but she didn't stop. Instead, she turned defensive. "What did you expect? You're always at the hospital. I'm still young, not some frumpy old woman. Do you really think I can just sit around and die of boredom? I felt a rage I could barely contain. Die of boredom, while I work myself to the bone, giving you everything you could possibly want. Every free moment I have, I spend with you. Have I ever said no to anything you've asked of me? I left before the conversation could spiral further, heading back to the hospital to spend the night there. I couldn't go home, not after what I just witnessed. The thought of forgiving her feels impossible, and honestly, I don't think I want to. A divorce is inevitable. What I can't figure out is how to move forward. Trust. That feels like a distant memory now, something irreparably broken. Betrayal like this doesn't just go away. It lingers, reshaping everything you thought you knew.